大家好，我係 Eric，我係香港出世，同埋我住香港差唔多40幾年。我係一個企業9年。I'm an executive coach and I've been doing this for approximately 15 years or so and concentrating in the last 8 years in particular working with individuals. Most of my clients come from the business sector. They can come from finance, accounting, or perhaps other professions. And I work with people through all different levels, right up to C-suite level, to chairmen of companies. So before I got into coaching, my background was something completely different. For about 15 years, I worked in banking and finance. And then when I came back to Hong Kong, nearly 30 years ago now, I moved into areas that were all related to similar things, admin and things like that. But about 15 years ago, I had a bit of a breakthrough. And this is where I started to understand the power of one-to-one coaching. A very good friend of mine was actually starting out as a life coach, and she offered me some free coaching, and I was there to help provide her with some additional coaching hours. And what I learned from that was really the power of working with an individual who asked you tough, challenging questions and really put the focus on you and the choices that you made. And as a result, I had a life-changing moment, and I actively looked to work more in this area of corporate training and corporate coaching as well. And about 8 years ago, I started to focus a lot more on the coaching side, working with individuals. And I also thought, if I'm going to be doing this as a career, I really need to get some formal training, as well as the skills and experience I picked up over 15 years. So I decided to go and do a course at Hong Kong U at SPACE, which was a diploma in corporate coaching. And I love that because it really gave me the technical information, the tools that work really, really closely with the experience and the background that I had in this particular area as well. And I think it served me really well. Well, I would say that my key areas of strength are the areas that I've worked in for many, many years now. So working with clients around the areas of influencing and persuasion, maybe helping them deal with things like executive presence. I also work in the area of coaching, doing transitional coaching. I also look at team and group coaching as well. I believe my strengths lie in the following areas. And I think probably the greatest strength is my background and my experience of working with people from a variety of roles in a variety of industries, from more junior levels right up to C-suite as well. And I think that gives me the ability to interact with, to communicate, and really understand where people who have a multicultural, multi-ethnic background, and also the challenges of working in a fast-paced environment like here in Hong Kong and around the region as well. I think those are some of the key strengths that I bring to the table. So let me share 2 success stories with you. The first one is related to a partner at a law firm. Now, he was doing extremely well, seen as very, very knowledgeable, and he was recognized as being the leader in his field. However, it was a real struggle to get him promoted to partner. And the problem with that is they didn't see him as a leader. So working with this particular individual, focusing really on those particular areas, and that made a radical change in how he was seen and how people regarded him. And as a result, he was able to transition into the role as a partner of this particular law firm. And even moving beyond that, he was successful in the sense that he was then headhunted by another firm, and these days he's a senior leader at an even bigger law firm as well. So the second example I wanted to share with you was working with a very senior member of a global investment bank based here in Hong Kong. Now his role was quite specialized. He worked in this area of security for bank information. If there was an earthquake or some kind of disruption, his job was to make sure that the firm, the banking process could continue on. And we worked with him in a transition coaching situation because he wasn't quite sure whether this was an area he wanted to continue on. Cut a long story short, as a result of that, he's completely changed his lifestyle. This individual now has left the corporate sector, and what he does these days is he literally takes photos of cars. He follows the racing circuit around the region, places like Sepang, Formula One. He takes photos of these cars, he publishes them, and he sells them. And he's possibly not making as much money as he was before, but he's very fulfilled, and this is exactly what he wants to be doing. So many people are not familiar with this term transitional coaching. And what we found over the last 3 years in particular is with the difficult choices that people are facing, choices about leaving an industry, leaving a role, leaving the country, relocating their families, or perhaps having a whole career change. This is a very, very difficult transition for people to make. So transitional coaching is focusing on this particular area. So be able to dive underneath and see what are the reasons behind the choices and ways to make sure that we are making the right choices based on the right information and based on the right understanding on what is best for us, maybe what is best for our family and best for our careers.